You know, a part of me is glad to see Steve go, just because every time I heard his name, I get Julia flashbacks. Hello everyone, I'm Dan the Man. Well, the first eviction of Big Brother 20 is in the books, and the undercover cop went home. Gotta say, going into this season, I didn't see that coming. Given how well the last undercover cop did, and what a good skill set that would seem to be for this game, I thought Steve would be one to watch. Of course, Derek never went on the block week one, or was so much older than everyone else, although I don't know that the last one played too much of a factor. At the end of the day, Tyler did a real good job maneuvering everyone to do what he wanted. In this case, keep Sam in the game. So on to my thoughts for the week. First off, I gotta say I love the veto competition. While variations of the individual part of the competition may have mostly been done before, it was well-designed and well-executed competition that was real fun to watch. Faysal went in and had me thinking that the veto might be used, since he and his alliance clearly wanted Tyler to put up a bigger threat, but he was probably smart not to use it, because whether he realized it or not, and he probably didn't, there was no way Tyler was going to put up Angela or Winston like he wanted. Tyler has played all sides, but given what we've seen, it's clear his first loyalty is to level 6. So if Faysal got ahead and used the veto, it would have probably been Bailey going home. Or Tyler would have put up Scotty and JC and come up with some reason to explain away why he did that. Speaking of Faysal, a lot of fans were surprised he got the crap app. Mostly because it was assumed Swaggy C or JC would get the app, since they were, especially at that point, the most disliked players by the fans. Big Brother didn't explain it well, but I looked into it, so I'm going to quickly clear up some misconceptions about how the whole trending thing worked, because Big Brother sure didn't want to make it clear. First of all, it's called trending to go with the theme of the season, but it's not actual social media trending. A lot of fans decided that Swaggy needed to get the crap app, so never speak his name on social media was what they needed to do. That doesn't matter. Big Brother is not going by actual social media trending. So post Swaggy C sucks or Swaggy C rocks all you want on Twitter, Facebook, or hell, post it on LiveJournal if that thing's still around. It won't matter. What it goes by is the questions about the house guests they post, which they have info about how to use on CBS's website. I'll post a link in the description. But here's the other kicker. Despite what would be the logical assumption, answering someone for negative questions does not go to them getting the crap app. It is still called trending, which means the answers, good or bad, go towards if someone is trending. In this case, if someone is getting their name answered the question, whether it's good or bad. So the crap app, while many will hope their most hated house guests will get them, is actually most likely going to go to the ones who are doing the least and appearing on the show the least. Therefore, since no one is thinking of them, no one is answering them for a question, good or bad. I wish Big Brother would explain that better though, because I have a feeling sooner or later Swaggy or JC or someone is going to get the app and everyone's going to scream, "It's rigged." BB made this whole thing way too complicated, and as anyone who remembers season 15 and Alyssa infamously being put on the block by fan vote because no one got they changed what the fans were voting for will attest, a lot of people who participate in these things get confused real easily. I get Big Brother's embracing social media and designing the fan vote around the theme of the season, but it's way too convoluted, especially as fans are used to just going to a website and clicking on someone's name. I think a lot didn't vote this time because they couldn't figure out how to vote. And speaking of the apps, I of course have to mention Sam's app. I didn't like Big Brother didn't make it clear how the extra life worked, although I'm sure Sam got a more thorough explanation, but it was a good one to save her in more ways than one. So the fans who made her trending, who I'm sure did it largely out of sympathy for the robot punishment this week, definitely helped her out. But what turned out to be the biggest surprise move was telling Tyler. At the time, it seemed like a risky move, and who knows how much of it was luck and how much of it was her realizing what a valuable ally Tyler could be, but it paid off in spades. And for those who don't know how much it paid off, that brings me to the votes. Because while the episode made it look like Sam stayed, and thus got to keep her power because Kaitlyn was jealous of Haley and Faysal, and that may have played some part in it, the full story, which probably will at least in part be shown on Sunday's episode, was much more interesting. The house had been going back and forth on who to get out. Steve was arguably the bigger threat out of the two lesser threats on the block, but Sam had not been doing the best job of campaigning. I'd watched the feeds, and she had been very whiny and quite a downer, and a lot of the house, especially Winston and Brett, were not endeared by her negativity. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure the robot punishment was a large part of her attitude, and I can't say I entirely blame her for feeling the way she did, but it was still making her a lot less fun to be around, and she had not made any real allies, save maybe Tyler, again in part because of the robot. So a lot were thinking they should go ahead and just send her home. As of the day of the eviction, it looked like they had settled on voting out Sam. Swaggy and his alliance, and for the record, I'm not going to use their alliance name because I can't figure out how to pronounce the dumb thing, so I'm not even going to try, but Swaggy and his alliance wanted Sam out. Level 6 much preferred Steve, but didn't think they had the votes without showing their hand and revealing they were working together, so they mostly decided to just let Sam go, since she was one lone person with no allies, even if it wasn't what they particularly wanted. So what changed? Well, it happened on the day of the eviction, hence why it wasn't seen in the actual episode, but on that day of the eviction, Tyler hatched a plan. First, he pulled in Kaitlyn and convinced her that Brett had a secret power that would screw her. Kaitlyn freaked and felt she had to vote out Steve to save her game. Then Tyler went to Swaggy and the rest of his alliance and told them he was worried a special power would be played that would change someone's vote. Thus, when Kaitlyn changed her vote, they would think it wasn't the case. He then went to level 6, who despite seeming to have Kaitlyn on board to vote out Steve, were not sure it was worth the risk since it was not guaranteed she would not change her mind and still vote out Sam. So Tyler told them about Sam's secret power. That convinced them that she could be a more valuable potential ally to keep, as well as made Winston for some reason decide since Sam was playing after all, they should keep her. Because now that you know someone might be a threat when you didn't think they were before, that makes it worth keeping them around. Winston being his usual tool self aside, I gotta hand it to Tyler. That was some Dan Giesling level misting. So while the entity managed somehow by dumb luck to paint an explanation for Kaitlyn flipping, it was way more Tyler than just her petty jealousy, and I'm sure some, if not most of it, will air on Sunday's episode when they have time to add it in. Not sure if it was a good move for Tyler, though. On the one hand, he got what he wanted, no doubt about it. He wanted Sam to stay and not use her power, and to do so he moved the pieces around to see to it that that happened. So I can't argue that didn't work. It just seems like an awfully risky move with limited returns. Sam had the app, so most likely she was coming back in. She wasn't mad at Tyler, so the app would then be out of the way, which at the start of the week was what he said he wanted to do. But instead, he told intricate lies to multiple people that he could get caught on, and he blew Sam's secret without telling her, which risked upsetting Sam. I also, from what I saw, wasn't sure if Brett knew Tyler lied about him having a power. Would think he told him, but if not, Brett could blow his cover on down the line without even needing to. Hell, if level 6 finds themselves in trouble, they could throw Tyler under the bus and expose his lie, which could turn him into a target. Seems Tyler is near at the bottom of that alliance, even though that seems to be the alliance he wants to go with. Although he's at the bottom of Swaggy C's alliance too, so maybe that doesn't really matter. So to me, it doesn't seem worth telling so many lies and manipulating people that could come back to haunt him just to save someone who most likely was not going home anyway. Maybe he thinks if Sam's app is useful, he can get Sam to use the app on him or one of level 6 and keep them if he needs to. But I have my doubts that would work. She might, and I add might, be willing to use it to save Tyler, as he is the only real ally she has, but I'm skeptical if he thinks he could talk her into using it for level 6 in general. I highly doubt that would work. Sam doesn't strike me as that stupid, and he isn't Paul. And by that I mean he is the former player who was given a month's free pass, thus inviting everyone to crawl up his butt and let him dictate everything they do. So I don't think the power will be used for anyone but Sam, who likely isn't going to go back on the block before week 4 anyway. But we'll see. I didn't think he had the moves he made this week in him either, so he might surprise me again. Before talking about my thoughts on if the vote was the right choice or not, I want to talk about Sam surviving. I like her, so I'm glad she lasted, and she's a huge fan favorite now. In all honesty, I think Big Brother should just give her the check for America's favorite right now, because barring something big happening, I think she has it locked in. And it's probably good for her, because I'll be honest, even though most people don't like my opinion on this, but I don't think Sam has any kind of realistic chance of winning Big Brother at this point. Here's the thing. The alliances and relationships you make in the initial weeks are what basically shapes the game going forward for the rest of the season. Players live and die by the relationships they build and the perception they made in the first weeks. Sam's robot punishment hindered that to the point she really wasn't able to form any true alliances, find a ride or die, or even make much of the way of friendships in the first couple weeks. It's not her fault. It would be hard to not have that punishment affect your ability to do those things, so I do like she didn't go home. But fair or not, the damage is likely done, and I don't think Sam is going to be able to repair it. And honestly, as nice as she is, I don't think she has the skills to overcome the handicap she fell into. With her personality and background being such a contrast to the rest of the house, I think she would have struggled with those things no matter what. But as a robot, any chance to overcome that with great first impressions was taken away from her. I don't think she's going anywhere, as no one really sees her as a threat, and even when they were going to vote her out this time, it was because they thought it was the best choice between two players no one wanted on the block. In her relationship with Tyler, the one relationship she has been able to truly forge, might help her if he continues to have such an influence on everyone. Hell, it might take her to Final 2, although even if Tyler continues to be such a strong force in the house, he's tight with everyone, so no telling if Sam really is his ride or die. But even if she manages to make it to the Final 2, I doubt she'll be able to get the votes. She's basically just now starting the process that everyone else has already finished. It sucks for her, although as I said, she's likely going to win America's favorite player and might even be a likely choice to come back in the future if she wants. But this season? Well, I wouldn't start spending $500,000 yet if I was her. So that brings me to the votes themselves. Or more specifically, was Steve the right choice? Hard to say, honestly, because neither were really big threats or even that difficult to live with, even with Sam's whining. Based on what they knew, I think Level 6 would have been smarter to stick with voting out Sam and force her to burn her power. Even if she doesn't end up using it, on week 4 whoever gets voted out has a chance to get back in. And I'm guessing Big Brother wants someone to get back in with it, so I doubt the challenge will be anything that can't be won easily. So in a couple weeks, it might save someone they really don't want to save. But at the same time, Steve had an ally in Scotty, which might have made him more dangerous. And he was in a better spot socially than Sam, which arguably made him a bigger threat. He also was more likely to not go along with Level 6 than Sam is, given Sam's friendship with Tyler, and Level 6 ultimately were the ones deciding who went home. As we saw afterwards, the head of household happened, and Kaitlyn, surprise, surprise, won the head of household competition. Now I'll get this out of the way now. I don't like Kaitlyn. New agey, I have special spiritual connection, blah 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 people are not my kind of people. When people talk like she does, it's all I can do not to roll my eyes. So I was less than impressed with her from the moment the pre-show interviews happened. That being said, I can't say I'm not interested to see her as head of household. Given how her votes changed, it's unclear if she truly flipped on Swaggy and the others, or changed her vote simply because Tyler freaked her out so much. She's also flighty as hell and easily influenced. Let's just say there is a reason Tyler told her the lie about Brett, and not say Haley or Angie. So it could be an interesting week as she's something of a wild card. Although I think in the end she will likely work on Level 6's best interest, as she seems tight with Tyler, as most people in the game are right now. Tyler's definitely looking like he either could be a good pick to win, or all his lies and alliances will catch up to him. It's definitely going to be fun to see what happens, and I gotta say, so far I'm liking this season a lot more than last season. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with my thoughts on Kaitlyn's nomination, the veto competition, the second eviction vote, and whatever crazy thing these knuckleheads do during all that. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications of new videos. I'm Dan the Man, and I'll see you next time.